Welcome to the NX8.5 presentation for draft and blend capability. The part that's currently on the screen we're going to use as a basis for this presentation. There are a number of modelling issues with this part that's been supplied to us in IGES format. We're going to go in there and correct those and then take the part further on so that it's actually manufacturable. So first thing that we're going to do is remove a number of faces which I've highlighted in red. So we're just going through the selection process for these. As we select them, NX is giving us a preview of what the repaired component will look like. So removing the faces just doesn't leave us with a hole. NX will heal the part back into a solid. So we've got a couple of very small edge blends on the bottom of the component as well, which we are going to remove at the same time. Next we're going to replay the part back to its last feature, and during the replay we can see that one of the edge blends has failed. This is due to a face that we've removed which was being blended, so we can go ahead and remove that blend from the component like so, then continue on with the modelling process. So just on a closer inspection of the component, we can see that down in this region here we've got an edge blend that doesn't look too nice. So we're just going to add in a couple of those sharp edges which we created by the removal of the very small red edge blends. Okay, the next stage is we're going to roll this part back in its history to a particular point, and then continue on the modelling process by adding draft to a number of the faces. So we're going to start off by adding draft to the green and yellow faces. We do that by going into the draft command, selecting the direction of draw, and then selecting the various edges. So we're just picking some tangent chains of edges, and NX gives us a display of the before and after, and we can dynamically change the draft angle, but for this case we're going to add 5 degrees draft to the green and yellow surfaces as we've just done there. Flipping the part over, we're going to add draft to the 2 pink bosses. Once again, by selecting the edges and selecting the line of draw, we've added 5 degrees draft as seen there. So the next thing we want to do is also add 5 degrees of draft to the dark pink surfaces that run around the edge of the part. And we do that by selecting the line of draw again, which is normal to that surface, and then picking the edges that we want the surfaces that we're adding draft to rotate about. And once again, by selecting the various edges, NX then goes ahead and adds the draft to those faces. Let's update the part to the end feature again. Okay, just rotating the part around to the other side here, we can see that these blue surfaces have 0 degree draft on them. So part of the design intent for this part is that the blends at the bottom of the blue surfaces have to stay in their location. So we're using the draft body command, sorry, the draft command, but tangent surfaces. So picking one of the blue surfaces, then tangent selects all of the others, and once again adding 5 degrees draft to them. It's the blue surfaces which get draft added to them by rotating or revolving the surface around the blend at the base of the surface. So the blend surface stays in situ and the blue surfaces rotate their way around it. Next we're just going to add the finishing blends to the component, and these are varying sizes from 5mm down to about 1.5. So we're going to add a 2mm radius on these pair of edges. We'll add these ones around the base here at 1.5mm, and do the same around the top of this set of edges here. And we'll also include the sharp edges that we created earlier by the deletion of some of those red surfaces. And just complete those off with some 1.5mm radii. I've just noticed that the pink bosses and the center hub actually cross the split line, so we wouldn't actually be able to manufacture this in its current state. So what we need to do here is split the pink surfaces where they cross the parting of the component. So I'm going to do this by splitting the surfaces. So I'll start by creating myself a datum plane on the line of split. I'll just resize that so that it's approximately the right size and location. Doesn't really matter, they're infinite in size, but just like to get it the right size. So picking the 3 pink surfaces and the datum plane, then imprints a set of edges onto those surfaces and then splits them. So now using those new edges, we're going to select the edges. Okay, from edges, pick the stationary edges, and then add, for this particular set of surfaces, we're going to add 10 degrees of draft on there. And now that we've done that, we finally finish off with those couple of 1.5mm radii just to complete the blends off from this side of the component. So flipping the component over to the other side, we can see we've got this green boss that's protruding out of the side. We need to make this manufacturable, so what we're going to do, we're going to add some material to the underside of that boss by once again just adding draft to it, and specifying 5 degrees draft. That then infills the underside of that boss, which then allows us to quite quickly run a 1.5mm radius around the base. And that completes our component.